Hello, welcome to episode 35 of Country Bumpkin Creates. My name is Lucy. You can find me on Instagram as country_bumps, and you can find me on Ravelry as Country Bumps. Welcome to any new viewers. I know there were a couple of new subscribers following the last episode, so that's lovely. Thank you and welcome. And welcome back to any returning viewers. It's nice to have you back. I'm in a different location today. I'm set up in the living room. My sewing room, like craft room, needs a tidy, and I can't be asked to do it today. So, we're in the living room today. I had every intention of recording last weekend. No, weekend before, which would have been 2 weeks. Yeah, but on the Friday. Or on the Thursday, my tooth was hurting a little bit. And then Friday, I woke up with a full-blown abscess under my tooth, which was not pleasant. Managed to get an emergency dental appointment, who gave me antibiotics, but got to have the tooth removed on Monday. I'm more upset about the cost. So yeah, it's very expensive. I've got no NHS dentists anywhere in the area, so I've got no chance of getting it done on the NHS. So I've had to pay privately, which is really annoying. But anyway, so so Monday, it's a tooth that they've previously done root canal on, and this is the second abscess I've had under the tooth. My teeth are a mess anyway, but yeah, so I can't have root canal on it because I've already had root canal. So best thing is to whip it out. Fun. So be a liquid diet for a couple of days. Yeah, so it wasn't pleasant. My face was like really swollen. I looked like the guy at the Goonies. And Nigel kept walking around going, "Hey you guys," at me. But he did look after me, other than taking the mick, but that's what we do, you know. Other than that, I've had quite a productive month, I think. I set my goals at the beginning of January. Which book are they in? So, these were my January goals, and as you can see, they were all ticked off. I did my sister's birthday socks from a sock tube. I haven't got them to show because I've gifted them to her. Claire's Penguin I'll show you in a minute. That started, I'm probably about 2/3 of the way through. I finished my Janine Pope piece, which was a workshop that I'd attended, and it just needed tidying up. So it was this little lady, reverse applique lady. I've just backed it with a plain, like a mould blue. Made a little hanger for it so that can be hung up now in my craft room. So yeah, and my Goosey Quilters, that's my local quilt group. It's the reveal of our chairman's challenge piece tonight. And again, I showed you the man done, but I've now put his gold braid on, and I've just done a little border trying to represent a sunset. And a grey bottom. It's not very straight, but it doesn't matter. And then I've just got that grey on the back, and again a little hanger. So the challenge was, we were giving a picture, and this was my picture, and we then had to see what that picture said to us. And so this is the Fighting Tremiere, I think it's pronounced, by Turner, and it was painted in 1838, and it shows this wooden warship being brought into port to be broken down, and then so it's at the end of its life. So there, and then there's the sunset that I've tried to sort of capture. Yeah, so I lost my train of thought. So yeah, so when I researched the painting, obviously this is a warship being broken at the end of its life, being broken down, coming in to be broken down. The year was significant because it was coming toward the end of Turner's, I don't know whether it was his life or his painting career, or, you know, he was getting old, and was, you know, this was one of his last paintings. So I took the sort of naval theme. I enjoyed doing the Janine Pope workshop and thought, how can I recreate, you know, get something. I didn't want to just do another boat, you know, because I thought that's too literal. So I've gone a bit off on a tangent, but I think I'm still within the scope of the picture. So I thought, you know, this old Navy officer coming towards the end of his life. So yeah, so it should be interesting tonight to see. I'll try and get a few pictures of different people's takes on it, and try and put them on my Instagram or something. Yeah, so that's my interpretation of this painting. When I opened the envelope, I was like, oh my god. So the challenge was, please see attached picture. Not everyone will have the same picture. So there were 5 different pictures. So each person was, so there could be, you know, there probably might be like 4 other people who have got the same picture that I have. And it says, please don't share anybody until the final reveal. Please don't show your work in progress or discuss it so that the end products are as different and original as possible. So I have discussed it with my quilting buddy, but she got a different picture than me, so we have discussed it. Don't copy the picture, but be inspired by it. You may choose to concentrate on a tiny portion of the picture, or how it makes you feel, or by the colours, or by the shapes within it. The work should be no more than 20 inches in any direction. This is your chance to push the boundaries. You can use embellishment or simply fabric. So, and we had 3 months to do it. So, yeah. So we shall see tonight how we get on. But yeah, I think I'm happy with what I've done. So that's all that matters, isn't it? It'll be interesting to see what other people have created. The other things on my list were my Nedwood gnome. He's over there, I can't look at him, which I did complete, which you saw in the last episode, and my partridge ornament. So following on, I showed in my last episode the advent calendar that I did, and I have the kit to make these felt decorations based on the 12 days of Christmas. So I'm going to try and get 1 a month done, but then I realised there's 13, so I need to get 2 done in 1 month. So we'll see how we go. So this month was the partridge, so there he is. So this was a kit, so I got the book and all the felt, and I've got loads of embroidery threads. So that's I'm really not very good at embroidery. Like, these stitches are all different sizes and stuff, but hey, it's handmade. And I've used like a velvety ribbon. I've got a reel of it from, I think I got it from So Sweet Violet, on their website. So yeah, I just think he's really cute. So I'm hoping by Christmas, by the time we decorate for Christmas this year, we will have, apologies for that, the tree man, the tree surgeon man has just arrived in his big tractor and trailer. So if you heard that, I do apologise. I should clarify that I live on a holiday park. For those who don't know, for those who are new, I live in a holiday park here just on the outskirts of Tavistock in Devon. We are closed to the public at the moment, so this is our time to get like all of the work done that we need to get done. And some of our trees I've got like limbs that are not very well, so they've had to be felled or coppiced. A lot of them have been coppiced, so they look very smart now. Anyway, off on a tangent yet again. Welcome to the Country Bumpkin Creates podcast. tangents are very common on this podcast. So the next one I'm going to do is the pear, obviously the partridge in the pear tree. The felt's all cut out because when I cut the partridge out, I cut the pear out as well. So I just need to embroider the bits I need to embroider. Hopefully this one won't take me long. From Monday, I've got 2 weeks off work, so I'm hoping that my February plans are quite extensive. So I'm hoping having 2 weeks off work, because I've got annual leave to use up. I don't really want 2 weeks off in February, but there's no other time to have them, unfortunately. So yeah. So that was all of my January goals ticked off. Regarding my meters in and meters out, I'm in negative equity already, so you know what's new there. So meters in, I had 898 meters, and meters out had 467. And so my project's completed, were my Nedwood gnome, my never ending rainbow socks for my sister, and I did another Nedwood gnome for a friend, which I'll show you in a minute in our FO section. February, I don't know, I think I'm going a bit mental, but these are our February goals. So I want to do my February socks from a tube. So I've got a vintage Imperia sock machine. Cat's having an issue. So I crank sock tubes. I then pick up the stitches and cut the sock tubes. This is a Fab Funky Fibres, and it is Drama Club is the colourway, and their self-striping is amazing. I do love it. So I've got a whole, this is a 50 gram. They do micro skeins, so it's 50 grams, and I can easily get a pair of socks for me and or my sister out of a 50 gram skein. I might try and do some socks for Nigel this year, because I've got some 100 gram skeins. It doesn't need to be a self-striping. I'll do him some speckles or something. So yeah, so that will be February socks. Again, they take, I tend to do like, I split the tube and then knit like one heel or one toe or one cuff, and then the next day I'll do another toe, and then the next day I'll do another heel or toe or whatever, and then pick up, no, I don't do the heels, I do cuff toe on each tube that I've split in half, then I pick up and do the heels. So 2 or 3 days I should have a pair of socks done with that. So, and maybe what I'll do this weekend is I'll pick up the stitches and split the tubes. So after I've had my tooth out on Monday, if I feel up to it, it's just, it's easy knitting. Once the stitches are picked up, it's knitting that I don't really have to think about. So if I fancy doing a bit of knitting here or there whilst I recover from that, then I can. So that's yeah, so that's the first goal. The second goal is my gnome for February, and it will be, so I'm going to do Granola of Grindlewood. So the Grindlewood series is an ebook that I think it comes with 4 gnomes, a house, a little toadstool, and stuff. So there's Granola. I don't know what yarns I'm going to do yet, but I've got a few that came in this month that might be useful. So yeah, so that's going to be the February gnome. I'm going to finish the Penguono because we are going to, the royal we, Soph, Rach and I'm not sure if Imogen's coming or not. Anyway, Soph, Rach and I, Imogen lives in Bristol, so Sophie and Rachel live near me, so we're going to go on the train from Exeter to Unravel on the Saturday, which I think is the It's either the 23rd or the 24th of February. I think it's the 24th. So we're going to go up and back in a day on the train. So we get some train knitting in, some little snackies on the train. I'm looking forward to it. Should be a good day. Yeah. So I need Claire's Penguono finished by then. It will be the progress I've made. You'll see in a minute. It will be finished by then, so I can give it to Claire because they're vending at Unravel. Claire, sorry, I should say who Claire is. Claire is the one half of the wonderful Bird Street Yarn. Sorry, Nigel came in, and as he walked in the door, let out the most loudest burp, which I hope I've cut out. So if it hasn't cut properly, I do apologise. Oh, I forgot where I was going. So we'll start again. Yes, so I should have said at the beginning that it's the 1st of February today. So hence I'm talking about my February goals. So, no, that's the wrong one. Literally just had it in my hand. So, yeah, so the next on my list is the Radvent Cowl by Amber O'Brien. So it's a beautiful, like neckerchief cowl that, yeah, I suppose that's what it's called. So it's knit flat. It's designed to use 12 colours, either a gradient or a fade yarn set. Alternative, you could work in randomly ordered colours with a contrasting I-cord. It's DK weight or several strands held together to. But what I'm going to use is at Christmas, Sophie, Rachel, Imogen and I do a yarn advent calendar where we do we wind up 8 balls of 10 grams of yarn per person, so equaling 24. So I give 8 to Imogen, Sophie and Rachel, and then in return those 3 give me 8 each, and then on Christmas Day we add in a full skein of yarn. Well, I was very, very lucky this year that Sophie gifted 2 skeins to me. So they are both from Spectrum Fibre. This is a one-of-a-kind multicolour on her twisted sock base. 100 grams for 365 meters. It's 80% merino, 20% nylon, and it's beautiful. And then this is a skein of Surrey alpaca, which is just heavenly. It's my favourite of. I don't do mohair. I find mohair too fly away, too itchy, gets up your nose, in your eyelashes, in your mouth. I just don't. I'm just not a mohair fan. I do apologise if mohair is your jam, but it's not mine. So this is a 50 gram skein, 300 meters for 50 grams, 74% baby Surrey alpaca and 26% silk. So those 2 will be held together to make my Radvent cowl. It's going to be, because there's something else that is going to be quite a big project that I want to. It's a bit of a lofty goal. I want to get it done for Unravel, but I don't think I will. Anyway, I'll talk about that in a minute. So these 2 will be a Radvent cowl, and it will be my on-the-go knitting, because I think because it's all garter, it's probably a pattern that I haven't got to worry about. Yeah. So excuse me, it's not going to be something that I'm going to have to concentrate hugely on, so it can be like an on-the-go project for, you know, if I've got an appointment or whatever, or I just need some mindless knitting. The pear ornament I've talked about, so that's one I want to get done, and I also want to get back to some patchwork. If you go back to a previous video I did, which was just a sewing video, So it was patchwork and it was dressmaking. I showed some blocks that I've made from, is a book called Scrappiness is Happiness by Laurie Holt, and I do a sampler quilt. So I want to finish, I want to aim to get that finished this year, because in September my quilt group have got our exhibition in the town hall here in Tavistock. So I'm hoping that by September I can have this quilt finished and long-armed. Yeah, fingers crossed. And also there was last year on the Fat Quarter Shop, which is a shop based in the US, but they've got, if you're into patchwork and quilting, their YouTube channel is brilliant. They've got loads of free patterns on there. One series they started last year was called Socialites 2. And again, I've got like half the blocks made, and I just need to get my bum in gear and finish them. So I'd like to make 2 from my Scrappiness is Happiness book and 2 from the Socialites group this month as well. Again, I've got 2 weeks off. I'm gonna I don't know what I think I'm going to achieve in these 2 weeks, but hopefully I can get a lot of this done in February. Yeah, and then the final thing, went out for lunch with Rach and Soph on Tuesday. Yeah, Tuesday. It's Thursday today. Tuesday, and Rach was wearing a marled, I can't say that in my Devon accent, marled Mania sweater by Stephen West, and she did hers all in greens, different, because it's marled, so all variations of greens, and oh my god, it was amazing. I'm not a green fan. It's not a go-to colour for me. I like green. I've got nothing against as you can see, my living room is green. It's just not a colour I tend to wear a lot of. But Rach is like a real green fan. And it was just beautiful. So she challenged me to try and get one done for Unravel, which is 3 weeks this weekend. I'm not sure I'm going to get it done for Unravel, but I will give it a good go. Yeah, but so this weekend I need to have a sort through yarns, pick out a colour palette. My penguin, it was all pinks and purples, but that's what I've got a lot of in my stash, because that's my like go-to colours. I've got some fluff that I can incorporate in it as well, so stay tuned for that, because again, during my 2 weeks off, I will aim to record another podcast, so you can see what yarns I've used and things like that. I would imagine that it'll be Bird Street heavy, because that's what I've got a lot of my stash. I'm just going through yarns that I think would be suitable. I've got some pixie yarns from her clubs, one of our clubs last year. I'll put a picture of the Mild Mania. Hang on. Oh, please. I don't need to put a picture because I have it in a book. So this is the Stephen West Knits Best Knits book 2, which is sweaters. His sweater book, which is signed. Mild Magic, page 80. So that's the cover page for it, but it doesn't show it in all its glory. So he did the Mild Magic shawl as a knit along, a mystery knit one year. So this is like the basic shape of it. So it's longer at the back, like a mullet. Business in the front, party in the back. So you can see it's all modular. Let's get there's some better pictures of it in different. So rather than doing like a completely scrappy one with just like random colours, I'm going to pick like a colour family. So this is the dress version, which I'm not going to do because I think it. So these bits, so you can stop it there, which is what I'll do, or you can make it into this like dress. But if I make it into the dress, so by adding this like panel on, if I make it into the dress, I can probably live in it as a tent. So I don't think that'll happen somehow. Yeah. Oh, there's so many things in this book that I want to knit. This is another one. The kangaroo rollover. I've seen it all done in all one colour, like one colour. These, yeah. And I just think it looks the coziest thing to wear. Kangaroo rollover. So that will probably be on my radar at some point as well. So yeah, so so the challenge was set, and I'm a sucker for a challenge. So I don't know whether, I'm just going to pull you in a bit more. I don't know whether it'll get done for Unravel or not, but I'll give it a good old go. I may end up wearing it unblocked. Was that all on my list? Yeah, that's all on my list for February. I'm going to be pooping some miracles. I PG'd that for you, just for you. Yeah. So that's January stats, February plans done. I'm conscious of time because Nigella will be in for his lunch in half an hour. So we will get through as much as we can. So on to finished objects now. I've literally only got one that I can show you. So I put a picture of my Nedwood gnome on, that you saw in the last episode, on the Gram and Facebook, and a friend said, "Oh, I love him. I really love him. I'd love one in green." So here we have Nedwood the Green. So he's been finished a couple of weeks, and I keep saying, yeah, I'll give him to you as soon as I've recorded. You can have him. So this is Nedwood the Gnome. Again, an imagined landscapes pattern, same as Granola that I showed you. And we are doing a knit along in my Ravelry group. The hashtag that I chose, which was hashtag CBC Gnome 2024, keeps coming up with a violation on Instagram, which is really annoying. So if you, I'm either going to have to come up with another hashtag, or we'll just do it on Ravelry. But if you have an issue posting to Ravelry, you can message me your picture and I will put it into the FO thread for you. Because I know there are people that are sensitive to Ravelry since it was updated last year, year before that, whenever it was. So I know it does have issues for some people. So if you are one of them, then you are quite happy to add the picture in for you. So you will get entered into the prize draw every quarter. So this is Nedwood the Green. This is a random green that I had in my stash. I used the same pink, which was a Sarah's Textured Crafts in the, I'm just trying to find his project page. So there's his project page in my journal. So it's Blossom by Sarah's Texture Crafts. She doesn't die anymore. Beard is, and his little hand is the Elder Wand by a Homespun House. And this green is, it was unnamed, but it's a Somerset Yarns, which is really cute. yeah. So he can be gifted now. Now that he's been shown. And the only other FO was the socks for my sister, which I'll put a picture in here, which were the Never Ending Rainbow by Fab Funky Fibres, and I used a grey from Bird Street Yarn. Cheers. Yeah. So that's it for FOs. Whips. So I'll show you my muscle bra. It's almost finished. I'm almost ready for decreases. So this is the muscle bra by Ysolda Teague. It's a double thickness like hat. So you knit like a long tube and then stuff one end in the other. So I'm about 18 inches. I'm concerned. I've only got about 15 grams of yarn left. And I can't remember how much I used for the decreases. So I think I'm going to start the decreases fairly soon. This yarn is Bird Street Yarn, yet again, on their Nep base in the willow excuse me, willow colourway. So that will be an FO next time you see me. Because again, there's not a lot of knitting left on that. And the main thing I've been concentrating on is the Penguono for Claire. This cute little stitch marker was gifted to me at Christmas by Rachel. It's a resin little gummy bear. It's so cute. Rachel's hopefully going to have them in her Etsy shop soon. Aren't you, Rach? We have a little standing joke about Rachel and her Etsy shop. You can do it, Rach. We've got every faith in you. So here we are with the Penguono. We have both fronts are done. There's the other front. So I think last time you saw it, I literally just had the back panel, or had I even got as far as that? I can't remember how far I'd got. So you've got welts on each side. So there's 3 welts. So this is all Bird Street yarn in their blues, and there's a bit of figgy in there as well, which is a purple. There's a bit of grey in there. So Claire basically gave me lots of skeins of their yarn, and I'm just marling them. So I'm holding 3 strands of fingering weight yarn together, and so it's beautiful. So my next step is to do the shoulder. There's a panel that goes on the shoulder, which you then seam part of the front and the back, and then it'll be sleeves, and then we're almost there. Then it'll be bottom border and I-cord edging. So if I get my bumming gear, I will get it done hopefully by the just trying to think what time I will have. I'm out tonight. I would imagine if I really went for it, I could probably get it done this weekend, but I'm not going to put myself under that pressure. It'll be done by next weekend at the latest, because I've got quite a bit on this weekend. Yeah, so that's the Penguono for Claire. That's it as far as knitting is concerned. There's nothing. I've been really concentrating on getting the Penguono done for Claire. We had a little bit of stash enhancement. This was ordered before my January the 1st. I'm not ordering any yarn, which, as I said in my last episode, lasted all of, I think by 11 o'clock New Year's Day I'd ordered yarn. It's a mitten set from Bird Street Yarn. I was given a voucher for Bird Street for Christmas from Imogen. So I ordered this mitten set to do some Selbu mittens in their DK Superwash Merino. So it's 2 skeins of DK in there, so the pink skein and the grey. So I will do some colour work mittens with that at some point. Bex from the Bex Creates podcast, Chloe's sister Becky, that a lot of you know, was doing a de-stash, so I picked up this beautiful fade from Pixie Yarns from Bex's de-stash. So it's the barefoot fade, so it's beautiful blues and teals, and so I thought that would be good for my Gnomies. And then this is what made me fall off the wagon of not buying yarn. Spectrum Fibre are doing a Tropics Club each month, and Spectrum Fibre in the Tropics it's called, and I opted to get the 3 mini skein set. There were various options, and there's still spots available if you want to get in on the club. So this is the January one, which arrived yesterday. So if you haven't got yours and you don't want to be spoiled, then I would skip ahead or look away. Put mute on because I am going to talk about it. So it's called Maldives Turquoise Seas, and that's exactly what it is. It's beautiful. It's coming out a bit brighter than it actually is. This is proper turquoise. It's not that deep turquoise. And then you've got this lime greeny speckle, neon-y speckle, and then you've got the tonal, and then a speckle. Are variegated using both of them, and they are 3 lots of 20 gram minis, 83 meters. So again, I don't know what I'm going to do with these, whether I'll do a blanket with them or just keep them as pets for a little while. I don't think I'll use them for gnomes. I don't know. Anyway, so I'm probably going to use this for the February gnome. That's it for everything crafty wise. I'm just going to talk about what I've been reading and watching and listening to. I watched Fool Me, I'm sure it's called Fool Me Once on Netflix. I binged it in like 2 days. It's a Harlan Coben novel that's been made into like an 8 episode limited series on Netflix. Really good. Really enjoyed it. Slightly unrealistic with like the houses that they live in. All these people live in these big glamorous houses with like kitchens the size of my house and things like that. So, not quite in the real world in that respect. But a good story. Yeah, good to follow along with. And if I'm home during the day, I've got like old series of like Criminal Minds or Law and Order, and like Law and Order Special Victims Unit, and the new series. They've redone a new series of the original Law and Order, and Jack McCoy is still in it. It's got to be about 90 by now, but he's such a good actor. Sam Waterston. Other than that, there's nothing really that we're watching. Six Nations Rugby starts this weekend, so that'll be we do like the rugby. I'm just waiting for motorsport to start, really, because that's our jam. We're not into football or anything like that, really. There's nothing really that's on at the moment that's like engaging us. And I'm always catching up with podcasts, YouTube podcasts, mainly knitting and patchwork ones, and reading. I finished The Last Devil to Die by Richard Osman, which is the 4th one in the Thursday Murder Club. It was alright, but it wasn't as exciting as the others. It's a bit triggering for me because there's quite a big bit about one of the husbands of the main characters has got Alzheimer's, and how that was all dealt with. It was very, very, very well written, actually, but it did make me cry, because it just brought back memories of Dad. But I laughed and I cried all the way through it. So yeah, it was quite good. The second that was a physical book. I listened to quite a bit on Audible, because when I'm in my sewing room, I just have it on in the background. So the other book, I finished 3 books in January. The second book was called The Cornish Village Murder by Fiona Leitch, Leitch. It's set in Cornwall, so it's fairly, I'm in Devon, so but it talks about places that are fairly like Bude and Boscastle and places like that, which I know those places, so it's quite good in that respect, that it's got that like local aspect of it. And this is the second book in the series. The first one was called The Cornish Village Murder, or The Cornish Wedding Murder, I think it was called. Yeah, Cornish Wedding Murder. This is The Cornish Village Murder. The narrator's good. The stories are good. They're a bit like Midsummer Murdery type things. And the story was interesting. And it's a ex-detective moves back. It's female. Moves back to her hometown, and gets sort of embroiled in the murders. So it's a bit like Father Brownie. She's not a police officer, but she gets in on all the murders. And the third book I finished was again an audio book. It was only a short one. It's called Winter Street by Ellen Hildebrand. I've seen a few other people reading it, and it's not something that you have to like really concentrate on. It's about a family who own an inn in Nantucket, and it's like all the family drama. So it had quite good. This is the first in the series. I think there's 4 in the series as well. So it had good character building. But the story was a bit obvious at times. But the narrator was quite slow, so I put it on like 1.2 speed, and that seemed to be a bit better, and I got through it all right then. And so I've just started listening to the second one in the series, called Christmas on Nantucket. So they're all set around Christmas. I'm on about a third of the way through, and again, it's quite good. I don't quite know where the story's going to go on that one, but yeah. So that's it. That was all my reading, watching, what I've been doing in January. So this is going to be a fairly short episode. But I did say if they were regular, they would be short because the content. So hopefully I will see you in a couple of weeks. Yeah, I can't see any reason why. There's nothing, like I say, I'm off for the next 2 weeks, so hopefully I'll have a bit more content for you. So I'll see you then. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. If you've got any questions, leave them down below, and I'll get back to you. Thank you. Bye.